Did you know that withholding facts, misrepresenting, telling lies on your application, or maybe hiding an information that could be as small as a US visa rejection, for example, with regards to a Canadian visa application, could put a 5-year ban on you? Well, this recently happened with one of our clients where we literally saved the client. We did not expect that to happen, but still, something happened. I am going to share that particular case study with you. Also, I'm going to shed more light on what exactly is misrepresentation and what exactly is an inadmissibility with regard to Canadian immigration. That's the main topic of the day. Please be tuned till the end. My name is Sahil. Guys, welcome back once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice in Ontario. My office is here. If you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen and the details are there in the description box. More than happy to connect with you. Before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the bell icon and the subscribe button because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant of coming to Canada, then this is a channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. So guys, the first part of the video, we will discuss what exactly is misrepresentation and what exactly is the 5-year ban that we are talking about. And then we will proceed towards the remedies of it. We will also share a case study which recently happened with us and how we tackled that, and broadly discussing misrepresentation on a larger scale today in this video. Now guys, first of all, Canada has certain inadmissibilities where if a person is charged under misrepresentation or maybe criminality or maybe medical inadmissibility, the person might either get a particular time ban or may not be allowed to enter Canada forever. Now, for example, misrepresentation, if you're charged under misrepresentation, the person may not be allowed to enter Canada for a period of 5 years. The person could be a spouse of a family member in Canada who could be a PR or a citizen whatsoever. If a person gets a misrepresentation, he or she cannot enter Canada. If it's a criminal inadmissibility, then the person may be barred for a lifetime, right? So such situations may exist, but we are discussing specifically misrepresentation today. Now, what exactly is misrepresentation? It typically means that if a person is withholding facts with regards to an application that is ongoing in Canada, is known as misrepresentation. If you try to lie, if you try to hide or conceal any information, or if you particularly try to do something that induces error in the administration of the Immigration Act, then that is also considered under misrepresentation. Say for example, to bypass a particular draw, you try to do something and then at a later date you were identified that you were trying to induce error in that particular functioning of the system. Even that could lead to a misrepresentation. If it's not that common, it has definitely happened with a lot of people, not with everybody for sure. In other cases, say for example, a person has in the past applied for maybe an Australian visa, maybe a UK visa, or maybe a US visa, and now the person is applying for a Canadian visa or a PR. Well, if you know that in the last section of every application there is a particular question which says, have you ever been denied entry or refused an application for either Canada or any other country? If you've been refused a visa for any other country before and you answer no in that question, then very high chances if that the Canadian immigration will mostly find about it and they will charge you under misrepresentation, which could lead to a 5-year ban, which is a misrepresentation inadmissibility that we have already talked about. Now guys, honestly, there is very low possibility or there are very low chances that a person is able to convince the officer. It recently happened with us. For example, very recently a spouse was in India and she got 3 refusals from the US and got 1 refusal from Canada. She applied for another spousal open work permit with us, and the spouse was an international student in Canada, so it was a spousal open work permit. So what happened is the applicant did not tell us about the US visa refusals. She only told us about the Canadian immigration refusals. So we went ahead and submitted the application, and one fine day we got a procedural fairness letter which gave us 15 days to reply. Now what we did, we tried our best. We did what we could in terms of application, provided supporting documents, did some good research on case laws, provided precedents and everything. Fortunately, fingers crossed, fortunately the result was good. We actually got a positive decision in just 2 days. Within 48 hours, not only the misrepresentation was taken away, we also got a positive passport request, and right now as we speak today, the passport is under stamping and very soon the spouse will be able to come to Canada to reunite with a family member. Now, this was one such case which is not so common, because if you go to other consultants and lawyers, if you speak to the public at large, which we also did when we were discussing this case, we mostly got the feedback that misrepresentation cannot be overturned, or very few cases exist where a misrepresentation was overturned, right? But what if we want to tell you is that a person may not be lucky every time. If you are submitting any information to Canada with regards to your Canadian immigration application, please make sure that you tell only the truth. You do not try to play with the system, be it the express entry portal or be it claiming points or whatsoever. Do not try to fudge around with the system. Do not try to withhold any facts or any documents. Try to give as many documents as possible, because the onus of proving that you are eligible for this visa relies on you. If an immigration checklist or a document checklist gives you only 10 documents, that is the basic, that is the minimum eligibility, right? You need to put in more documents, because the onus of proving is on you. It is not on the Canadian immigration officer, right? So you need to provide all the documents to support it. If you're trying to hide something in the background, say people do it quite oftenly, they go with unidentified agents or maybe unregulated agents. They do not disclose in their particular applications. They can also be subjected to certain bad situations, right? You have certain employment histories. People do it, it's very common in India. People try to hide their gaps with this particular situation. They can also be charged under misrepresentation. Guys, the only thing that I'm trying to do is to make you aware, so that you do not end up in a soup just trying to cover a particular gap here or there, right? It is definitely helpful to make sure that you're trying to put all the truth in front of the officer. Do not try to induce any particular error. Guys, the remedy is very simple. Like I said, try to explain. If you're receiving a procedural fairness letter, you should particularly try to give your justification to the officer. Could be supported with a couple of affidavits. Your immigration consultant or your lawyer would have to do a good amount of research, finding a case that is very close to your particular situation. Try to answer the situation with precedents where the federal, the court of law actually overturned certain situations, because if you give those examples and those precedents, very high chances the immigration officer might agree to give you a positive approval. Well, the cover letter or the submission has to be done very professionally. Do try to do your research, and do try to give all the possible explanations if a person gets a particular misrepresentation. If you still need any help, do not feel shy to reach out to us. Our number is on the screen. Please feel free to schedule a session. We would be more than happy to discuss your case. Once again, we really hope that the information was helpful, gave you much insights into what needs to be done when you're applying for Canadian immigration. We wish you all the best, and we really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.